y'all, what's going on? It's Jay the Reporter coming at y'all once again. And I'm going to go ahead and let me just say this now. Week 1. Alright? Week 1. I'm done with week 1. My picks were terrible. Don't even want to start explaining how that happened. Finished it. This record right here. Yeah. Not happy. So, with that being the case, I'm looking at this week as a rebound week, so it's a lot of safer picks in this week because I got to get back over 500. I got to. So we're going to kick things off with the matchup that may be game of the week. It is early in the year, but I think this could possibly be the best game of the week. We got Chargers, Chiefs. The line is -4. Now, here's the fun part about this game. I think it's going to be a lot of points. But here's the big difference. Both of those teams' offenses exploded, but one team showed that they can actually play a little bit of defense, and that was the Chiefs. So if I come in with a Chiefs defense that's kind of high on themselves, I'm going to roll with them. So since the line is 4, I think they could wind up winning this game by maybe a touchdown. I know they can cover. I believe the Chiefs can cover, so I'm going to roll with them on this one. Chiefs will take that one. Next game up, Bucks, Saints. Line is 2.5 in favor of the Bucks. I'm gonna roll with that simply because if the Bucks have a lead, I trust for them to hold it because they're not the Falcons. So that's exactly why I'm even making that move. I think the Saints are still a few pieces away, maybe a couple of weeks away from really getting things going. So the fact that they're going against division opponents early in the year means they can kind of get the ball rolling against lesser opponents, or not necessarily lesser, but opponents who don't know them as well. So that's a big thing there. Next matchup is another divisional matchup. Colts, Jags, line's 3.5. I'm taking the Jags because it's based off of week 1. The Jags showed me they are going to come out and play. And they're playing with house money. I think the Colts are coming out knowing that, look, we got a shot to win the division. The Jags are saying no one believes in us. We're playing with house money. And they're giving me a field goal to start the game, so I'm going to take that. I'm going to take the field goal, especially in division games. I mean, we saw it just over week 1. Division games, that's typically where it begins to pick up there. So that's how I'm looking at that one. Divisional matchup, I'm taking the Jags, especially at home with a young team. Next one up, Commanders, Lions. I'm taking the Lions minus the points because I believe the Lions are, from top to bottom, a better football team. Not saying the Commanders aren't a decent team. They're decent. They did win last week. They're decent. But I'm not sold on them just yet. I'm more sold on what the Lions have. Because if they get Swift in space and he gets nasty on them, this is gonna be a nasty one. So that's kind of where I'm going there. Next matchup, Ravens, Dolphins, battle of teams with good defenses. On this one, it's whose offense do you trust against the other's defense? And I'm going to be 100% honest with you. There are more weapons on Miami's side than there are on Baltimore's side. So I'm going with Miami just based on that because I believe defensively Miami can set up a whole lot better. So I'm going to roll with them on that. That's just kind of where I'm looking at that. Next one, the Jets and Browns. And the spread is 6.5. Now, y'all know my rule. If it's a touchdown or more, I typically say give me that touchdown. But I'm not going to do that. I did that with the Jets last week and got screwed. Now, granted, it was the Ravens, but here's the bigger problem. I think the Browns found a way to get in control against the Panthers. They said, okay, this is how we're going to have to play. We're going to win. And I believe that's exactly what they're going to do. They're not going to play outside of themselves. And that's what makes the Browns a hard team to play if they can grab an early lead. And I think in this matchup is actually one that they can do that simply because the Jets are still kind of young, a little hapless. So I'm not really thinking that they're going to be able to take control of this game. So that's kind of what I'm looking at there. Next matchup, Panthers, Giants. I want to say last week was an anomaly for the Giants. They did go against the Titans. I don't know what was in the water in that game, but it is what it is. I think the Panthers, they found their mojo in that second half, and I think that was something they could build off of. So if I'm looking at both ball clubs, I'm literally picking a winner because the spread is 2 points. So you're picking a winner. Who do I think, if they matched up hat for hat, who has it? I'm going to roll with the Panthers over the Giants just because I believe more in what the Panthers have defensively and what they can do offensively if they take the shackles off. So as long as the Panthers are willing to fling it deep, I think they got a good shot. Speaking of having a good shot, Pats, Steelers. Now, I love when I can get points with the Pittsburgh Steelers. So, with this being the case, the Steelers have all opportunity to start 2-0. And since the spread is only 2 points, I'm picking a winner here. Based off of last week's performances on both sides, I believe the Steelers are going to come in and they're playing with house money. No one believes his team can make the postseason. I like when Mitch came out and said that the offense has to come out with the same kind of fire that the defense does, because that was something that was missing last year. I said it on the podcast, off the sticks, and I say it again. If the Steelers offense can come out and play with the same kind of domination, that dominant mindset that the defense does, they can be a very unstoppable force. That's how I look at this team. So I'm rolling with the Steelers +2 in this one. Next matchup, Falcons, Rams, and you're going to see a trend here for the most part. The spread is 10.5 points. I do think the Rams are going to beat the Falcons. I just want to see how it's going to happen. I think the Falcons can score. I really believe the Falcons can score. So I'm going to roll with the Falcons +10.5. That doesn't mean they're going to win this game. But I also believe that with the Rams coming off of that week 1, not really sure who or what they really are, now you have to reevaluate yourself. So I'm looking at it that way. The Falcons know what they are. They're just a collection of guys at this point, but they know what they are. They're just going to give you their best shot every single down. And I like a team, when you have them giving me that much points, I'm going to take that. It's hard for me to pass it up. Next matchup, Seahawks, Niners, 8.5 spread. As long as Trey Lance is the quarterback, I'm taking these amount of points. You're giving me a touchdown and a 2-point conversion to start. I'm going to take that because I think Seattle is very well coached. They're not going to play outside of themselves. Basically, if Seattle gives us the same effort they gave us on Monday night, not only can they win this game, they just might beat the 49ers. So as long as the Seahawks play within themselves, I think this can happen. I think 8.5 is a seriously big spread in this game. So I'm going to take those points and thank you very much. Next matchup, Bengals, Cowboys. Normally you give me a touchdown, I take it. But for a team that can't score a touchdown, I think the Bengals are out for blood. They know they can't afford to drop 2 in a row, especially given the fact that you already dropped one to a divisional opponent. You don't want to fall too far behind, especially since you only got one more matchup with them. So you don't want to fall too far behind the teams that did win in your division, which was everybody else. So you don't want to do that. You don't want to fall back 0-2 and have to be looking up at teams that could possibly be 2-0. So you don't want to wind up doing that. I think the Bengals are going to come out with that same amount of pressure on themselves, but actually meet the call. So I think they're going to actually answer it. I like them in that one, -7.5. Next matchup, Cardinals, Raiders. I'll be honest with you, I'm picking against the Cardinals until DeAndre Hopkins gets back. Because unless the spread is unless they're giving the Cardinals a lot of points, pick against them until they get them back. Because offensively, they looked horrible. I'm going to say it again. Horrible. And I don't think it's going to look any better against the Raiders. The Raiders are a real defense. I don't think they're going to be looking that much better against them. So take the Raiders -5.5 and get your money. Next one, Texans, Broncos. I'm taking the points in this one with the Texans. It's 10 points. That means I'm starting off touchdown field goal. I'm up. I believe the Texans are going to also not play outside of themselves. They're already a bad team. Yes. Can they play up to an opponent? Yes. Can the Broncos get in their own way? Yes. And I believe the Broncos, when it comes down to playing teams, they should be 2-0 after this. But unfortunately, they might be looking at 0-2. I am going to take the Texans +10 just because I don't like the play calling situation in Denver. Something's off there. Maybe when you haven't had a quarterback since Peyton Manning, you don't know how to act when you get one. You take those chances. They didn't, and I don't think the coach feels confident doing it yet. So if that's the case, you're playing against yourself more than your opponent. I'm rolling with the Texans. Next matchup, Bears-Packers, another 10-point spread. Now, if I sat here and said that one team coming into this matchup would be 1-0, the other one would be 0-1, you would probably say, okay, Packers will be 1-0 because they're against the Vikings and they typically have the Vikings number. And then the other team would be the Bears when they had that week one matchup against the 49ers. Now, I'm looking at this matchup totally different. The Bears are coming in riding high. They played a sloppy game, but they got it done. Justin Fields looked good last week against a really good 49ers defense. I don't know what the Packers are going to be able to do offensively. I think the Bears are playing with house money because, like other teams, no one really believes in them. So I'm going to roll with the Bears plus 10 because you're giving me too many points and you're giving me a team that's kind of riding high. Now, if the Packers can turn it around against anyone, it's the Bears. But I don't see that happening. Aaron Rodgers ain't feeling his weapons, and he's kind of here and there. He's either going to play up to MVP caliber or you're going to get what you got last week. And I think the Packers are what they were last week. Next matchup, Titans, Bills. It's another 10-point spread. But here's the difference. I'm taking the Bills in this one because as right now, as we speak, there's no team I would take ahead of the Buffalo Bills. They are a complete team. I'll take that. The Titans don't know who the hell they are. They think they know they're Derrick Henry, but they have nothing else. You cannot beat the Buffalo Bills without being able to run the ball and also put it in the air. I don't trust them to be able to put it in the air at all. So we're looking at a wash there. I got the Bills probably winning by the same score they won by last week. And on top of that, they have the extra days of rest as well, having played last Thursday. So they're extra rested. This next matchup, I'm picking the winner. Last game, Monday Night Football, Vikings, Eagles. They're giving the Vikings 2 points. They really believe that the Eagles are better than the Vikings. I don't. I don't believe they're better than the Vikings. Offensively, defensively, I think the Vikings are a better team. Now, can the Vikings slip up and lose this game? Yeah, they could pull a Minnesota and just slip up. But do I see that happening? Honestly, no. And since the spread is just 2 points, you're picking a winner. I'm going with the Vikes in this one. So, guys, y'all let me know what y'all think about these picks down in the comment section below. Also, don't forget, like, share, comment, subscribe to the channel. Also, hit over there on the Spotify Off the Sticks podcast. We are extremely wrong on there. Language you don't usually hear me using, you hear me using on there. We're extremely raw on there. We do gaming, we do sports. Our sports shows in the beginning of the week, gaming shows at the end of the week. But y'all, take care of yourselves. This is Jay the Reporter signing out. Peace.